Okay, welcome to our lab on the solar system trainer. This system takes what is basically a mock-up of solar energy. The lamps here are mocking up the light source. This is going to come through down into our solar collector. As the water comes in and runs across the cool water, it's going to heat up and come back in on the far side, come back through and down, back across the system through here, as you can see. And the flow rate will be measurable at this point here. After it goes through this flow rate measurement that's measuring the collector flow rate, it'll go down into the bottom portion of the trainer here. And meet up at our collector intake to the heat exchanger here. The heat exchanger, right, is going to exchange the collector loop, right, which goes back to the panel, right, it's back to the panel with the collector loop with our domestic loop, which is on the other side of the heat exchanger. And the cross flow between these is going to give us our temperature change. The collector, or rather the domestic side, then goes through to our coil here with the blower. The hot water comes in, and then is basically the blower is going to blow air across this, right, as though it was a HVAC unit, and we'll be able to measure our change in temperature across the blower as well as our fluid flow rate into the collector. So this system takes kind of a long time to get measurements going. We start taking measurements at time of 0, and then take measurements all the way along until we get to 30 minutes, measurements every 5 minutes. But mostly in the middle, right between those measurements, we aren't doing much of anything. We're really just waiting for the system to heat up and come into play and its function. You can see here I'm scrolling through the thermocouples that are set up on the system at all of the key points throughout the system, right, as shown on the system flow diagram in the lab manual, right. There are thermocouples, and these thermocouples in the diagram are going to correspond to different points along the system of interest. So we're going to have thermocouples, right, and you can see the wires for them, right, going through. We'll have one at a collector input, let's say, a collector output, and all over the system, right, to measure different things. And you can see actually on the system itself, it even indicates which one of the temperature readings is for which, right? So we can see if we wanted to measure the domestic hot water heat, that's the hot side of the blower. We would change this to 7. And then that is measuring our hot side of the blower. Throughout this experiment, we keep our flow rate through the collector and across the heat exchanger the same. So we'll just keep that set, but we could change that flow rate if we chose, but we want to keep these two flow rates equal to each other. Okay,